It's time for
DodgerHeads.
high fly ball into right field. Hey, Dodgers have won it all in 2020. Shohei Ohtani, 50-50 club. Strikes him out. There's a drive. Shohei Ohtani. Freeman hits the ball. She is gone. Birthday party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
There we go. My bad, guys. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to DodgerHeads Unplugged with Scotty G. It's great to have you in here. Happy Friday. Happy Halloween. The Dodgers are in a tricky position, but it's great to see you all there. Hope you enjoyed the off day. Hope you didn't stress out too much. This is a spot where Dodgers fans, look, a lot of them didn't want to be in. A lot of them didn't think they could be in with the Blue Jays across on the other side there. But now the Dodgers are in a spot where they haven't been. They haven't been this postseason. Backs up against the wall. And looking across the Toronto Blue Jays, they have an offense that looks like they're primed and built to win a World Series title. There is still, though, the opportunity on the field tonight in Toronto to force a Game 7. There's things we got to break down. There's things we got to talk about as far as Yoshinobu Yamamoto and how he can help make that happen. But this is a Dodgers offense, for the lack of a better word, that has been garbage. They have been horrific. As far as numbers with, stuff in 2 strikes, 2 outs, things of that nature, the Dodgers bats just haven't done it. They're out slugging the Dodgers or the Blue Jays in terms of homers, but they are not doing a thing when it comes to situational baseball, having a different club in a bag. And I'm just severely lacking confidence in what they've been able to do at the plate. It has been, just a top to bottom drop off in approach, and how things, went down the road in the end of the regular season, where we saw them start to gain some momentum as far as having, different, approaches at the plate. And what's going on right now with Mookie Betts, Tommy Edman, Max Muncy, these guys are just flat out not cutting it in the World Series. Mookie Betts looks like a shell of what he was when he started to show flashes at the end of the regular season, where once he clicked right, we all saw him become a force. And Mookie Betts just looks caught in between. I've had this conversation a lot in the last day or so, about how Mookie Betts reverting to these bad habits, and Mike Petriello coming out with some incredible data that tells the story of Mookie Betts really trying to pull the ball in the air with everything. And as many times as I looked on a slow breakdown of his swing, Mookie Betts is in a very tough spot, because at the beginning of the year, we'll chalk this up as Scotty's thoughts. Hi, guys. Welcome. Mookie Betts, where he was at the beginning of the year, coming back after losing all that weight, probably hadn't caught up to him yet, and he was still able to slug, pull side, do some things, and then quickly fell off. When Mookie Betts hit that valley, it was that it all caught up to him. And then when he started to get right, he shortened up the swing, wasn't swinging so much for pull side homers, shortened up, went right center field, and then he became a big factor. Then we started to be like, okay, if this is a version of Mookie Betts that can be a factor, we can live with this. But when you're seeing where he's at, it feels like he's caught in between of the competitive nature and him knowing that in October, slug is king. And what happens there is when you don't have it in you, when you're at your worst, and Mookie Betts, when he was at his worst, he was trying to slug pull side and it's not working. And now he's getting into the postseason, and when it's at its full, highest extremes, he's up there with 3 hitters in the major leagues that are doing having the data and the swing data that he currently has. So he's in a tough spot. I know they moved him to the 3 hole. If that's where they keep him, that's where they keep him. But if there's a change there, we could see a change there today. That's a possible thing. I would say so. The Dodgers are scrambling for any sort of a change in offense, but I don't think lineup maneuvering will matter for him. It's just going to matter of mechanically and mentality wise and stripping away that ego that I've got to do this. But I will say that Mookie Betts is probably battling internally with rehardwiring himself that this is October, but I don't have to do everything with one swing. And he's mechanically off, he's mentally off. And that's where I'm at with Mookie Betts. But the Dodgers offense needs to find some rhythm today. Otherwise, that's it. Curtains. Toronto Blue Jays hit themselves to a World Series title if this is how it goes. As a whole right now, they're being out-hit. They're being outplayed. Numbers aren't drastic, but as far as, hitting for average, stuff like that, it's pretty drastic. It's pretty drastic. I would say that with Mookie Betts, it's just he's getting this competitive nature here in October and just trying to pull a slug, and he's trying to dig into every little bit that he's got and creating bad habits in it. But what's everybody? How we doing? Shout out to the tier ones. Mike, good to see you, man. He says Mookie needs to play for BABIP, stop the long jingle stuff, and listen to JD Martinez. Yeah, I mean, if you look at a slow breakdown of his swing, his stuff. Had a conversation with a buddy of mine that I really, have some good stuff with hitting conversations there, and he's just Mookie Betts is a severe disconnect with his hands and his front side. He generates a lot of stuff, but it's his arm action, his hand action just right now just looks real forced. His posture when he's coming through the hitting zone doesn't feel like it's in a good spot. And that's where all the pop-ups are at. Him and Tommy Edman, that's all they could do is pop up right now. They're both in some real bad stuff. So mechanically and mentally, Mookie Betts is all in between. Can an off day fix him? Not with that swing we saw from practice. I don't know if it did. But good to see you all. Yeah, Laura says here, remember when we were going to be the best team in the history of MLB? Good times. Good times. But there's an opportunity today. There's an opportunity tonight with, I would say, is a top two pitcher in the National League on the mound for the Dodgers, Laura. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Can he force a game 7? Can he force a game 7? It's asking a lot for him to go out there and be perfect. But to come to a realization that this is where the Dodgers offense is at, you have to understand that, and he knows, Dave Roberts knows, that he has to be perfect until the offense gives him something. And if they don't, then they're going to lose a ball game. I don't think that the Dodgers will be able to keep the Blue Jays to nothing. But the Dodgers offense isn't providing him with anything. But let's talk Yamamoto just for now. His performance there, early on in the series, game 2, going out there and outdueling Kevin Gausman, Yoshinobu Yamamoto did something that Dodgers fans are going to remember him for, and I think you can hang your hat on going forward. Going out there, going a complete game, all he allows is the homer to start off the game, and that was it. The rest of the way, I think at one point he retired 17 or 20 straight to end the game. He put the Toronto Blue Jays in an absolute rocking chair. First pitch strike percentage in a solid spot there, 20 of 32. So he's good on that front. 11 ground ball outs, or 11 ground balls, 8 fly balls. So Yamamoto, with what he was able to do with his entire arsenal, was intriguing for me. Heavy split. We were able to see that thing really jumping out of his hand. 40% to lefty, so really darting away from the barrel of the bat. And he's going to have to do that today because Barger has done a lot of damage. Dalton Varsho, for what he's been able to do there, he's been getting on base and he's been creating some havoc there. Barger has been doing his thing. It just feels like he's one of the toughest outs in that lineup right now, aside from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So with how I expect Yamamoto to pitch to those platoon guys today, Varsho, who's out there every day, but against Barger, really, you got to try to miss a barrel. You have to let your defense play. You have to be ahead of the curve because the Blue Jays will adjust. Here we go. Perfect super chat here. Louis says this. Yeah, I've seen a lot of the Jays batters are going to have to adjust to Yoshi, but the Dodgers can adjust as well, and Yama has a lot of pitches to manage them. It's a good point. He's got a deep arsenal here. We're talking about 6 pitches from him. Split, 4-seam curve, cut, slider, and a sinker, which he doesn't use that often there. But his splitter is the great equalizer. If he's got that working, you can expect good things from him. BC, what's up, man? Good to see you guys in here. Amanda, hey, everybody. You're going to have to generate bad swings on that split, and you're going to have to keep that four-seamer in a good spot. You're going to have to beat them to the point. With where Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is at now, you just can't make a mistake to him, because what superstar players do is they do things that the regular won't. The league average guy won't, even the above league average. But Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit a home run against Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the first off speed up in the zone he's hit, I think, all year. So you have to take the opportunities there, and Yamamoto has to be able to provide them with none, if any. You've got to leave it to nothing. It's tough to sound bleak when it comes to a starter that when you say, hey, give me 6, 7, and allow just 2, and we'll take care of the rest. Offense will take care of the rest there. That's not something that I think Dodgers fans are okay with right now. The offense feels like you put up 2 and that's it. So from where I see it, through the first time through the order, we'll know kind of where the Blue Jays are at with him, and they need to adjust going forward. He's got to continue to reinvent himself each time through. He's got to stay ahead of the curve with them. And I'm just going to point it square in the offense. This is going to be a short conversation about Yamamoto. It's going to be a long conversation about the offense, because I've got nothing great to say about them aside from, Shohei Ohtani. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is everything that we need in a game 6, a stopper, back up against the wall, elimination game stuff here. Let's see here. Under Dave Roberts, I had this. Just had it. Dang, just had it. Hold on. Give me a sec. Under Dave Roberts, the Dodgers are 13-7 in elimination games here. 13-7. So you're able to go out there today, win a ball game. Game 7 tomorrow, we know how that goes. Anything can happen. But you've got to go up there, and I would say a minimum to provide Yoshinobu with an ability to just pitch ahead and attack and not have to be perfect. You got to give him 4. You got to give him 3 minimum, through 4. You got to give him 3. Let him pitch, keep the bullpen in a good spot. And then tomorrow you can kind of unleash everybody, because as we know it, everybody's available. So I would say for the Dodgers, everybody's available today. But Dave Roberts has to be very careful with how he, takes Yoshinobu out. If it's a spot where you say there's somebody in the bullpen ready to go, but Yamamoto's the best arm out there, you got to stick with him. You've got to get a little stingy, Dave. And I know he's going to do it because that's how he's trusted the starting rotation this year. Every single time it's happened in the postseason here, he's leaned on him, relying on him towards the back end of a start. And I believe it's paid off more times than it hasn't. They haven't had that spot. Might have happened in game 1, but that feels like an eternity ago, game 1 of the World Series. But Yoshinobu Yamamoto, go out there, find your strikeout stuff, miss barrels, avoid the hard hit rate. Blue Jays hit the ball hard. They swing hard, so it's just naturally going to happen. Defense has to come to play today. Ball plays fast in Rogers Center. So that's where I see it at. Can Yoshinobu Yamamoto force a game 7? Absolutely. Absolutely can. 100%. I believe he's a man on a mission out there. He enjoys the spotlight with that. You saw the balls on him to say he was available in the 18-inning game. No, I don't think that'll affect him. Just go pitch to your game plan. Be stingy. Be stingy, but don't be afraid to attack. You got to make a statement. Can't pitch scared. If they tag him, they tag him. Won't blame him one bit. Won't blame him one bit. Give me one sec. I was jamming. All right. Next thing here for me. The longest conversation of the day is going to be about the Dodgers offense. It hasn't been kind. They haven't been kind to their Dodgers starters. one bit. Like I said, I would say that the Dodgers offense needs to put up 3-4 runs in the first 3 innings. It's just a non-starter for me. Otherwise, this is it. Curtains. Over with. Blue Jays, if they have a lead here going into the middle innings, you're going to see that bullpen start to churn. And it hasn't happened. Hasn't happened. I don't see a way that the Dodgers can scratch runs across if they just keep allowing them. One here or there. A play like Teoscar Hernandez in right after that homer just felt like, what the hell are we doing? I love Teoscar Hernandez. Love him. Love him for 2024. Love Tommy Edman for 2024. But I'm willing to say that's just, some nonsense type stuff. To understand where the offense is at, runs are at a premium. I know you make, you look at things individually, defensively. You're not out there, thinking I've got to, stop this to eliminate this. You've just got to, play your game, but it's just boneheaded stuff. And that trickles over into the offense. It's the bonehead approach where, like I said a few days ago, that when they step into the box from inning 1, they have to have an approach where they're taking way too many damn strikes, stuff in the heart of the plate and finding themselves in 0-2 spots. They're not in a position where they feel great as an offense. So I don't know where they think that they're going to find that comfortability factor where they can sit in 0-2 counts all day and hit themselves out of being behind in the count. It's just not a thing. You just can't do it. They're being outpitched, like on the offense side, not starters. But even then, we'll have a conversation. But as far as, opposing pitching to Dodgers offense, damn right. You cannot put yourself in that spot. They are not as good of hitters right now outside of Ohtani to go up there and just say, we're comfortable being in 0-2. Just cannot happen. You can't pray for the slug every single time when you're not going right. I would say it's more of the organizational philosophy of offense right now. And how that's being implemented, It's a winning philosophy when it's clicking right, but when it's not, this is one of the worst offenses in a World Series I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. I tweeted this out the other day. They're lucky to have won 2 games. They're lucky to have won 2 games. Buster only said there's lineup changes. I would say Mookie Betts gets moved around. I would say he gets moved around. I think they keep the top of the order the same. Ohtani, Smith, but I would say Mookie Betts gets moved around. Amanda says, remember 2018, Scott? Yeah, that was, stuff. Feels like an eternity ago. But the Dodgers offense here, it's just later game stuff. Kevin Gausman went out there. He dealed himself. But it's just a litany of missed opportunities for the Dodgers offense and not being able to, capitalize on mistakes in the zone. This was a team that I remember in my mind talking about this, can hear as many times as, they've been able to do it. They've been able to just battle. They've been able to hit mistakes in the zone. That's why pitchers had to be meticulous. And that's where you see here we go. Hold on. Lineups out. Lineups out. Let's see if it matters. Give me something to talk about. Mookie Betts is hitting cleanup for the Dodgers. Okay, Miguel Rojas at second and Tommy Edman in center field. So those are just the changes. I don't know about full lineup out, but you can kind of gather with that. I would say it's just going to go Shohei Ohtani, Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Max Muncy, Teoscar, Tommy Edman, and then Rojas. Is that 9? Did I leave somebody out? I think that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, they just have no options off the bench. Yeah, Mike, let's save this. Look, if they go and they crash and burn today, which I damn sure hope they don't, because I'm a fan. I want them to come back, win tonight, win tomorrow. But let's talk after the season, and then we'll do that. Your face, I appreciate you, man. So Scott, I appreciate you aren't shouting or being annoying on your show. Just talking to the live streamers are chaotic because the guy's shouting. Yeah, you look at that. It's a lot of clicks. I couldn't care less. Let's get on here. Let's yap and talk ball. You guys care enough about what I say. I don't need to yell at you. For what? So I appreciate you. Yeah. Shout out to everybody in here for, listening for the first time. Like, subscribe, notification bell, all the housekeeping stuff for us. Thank you. If you're listening after the fact, rate, subscribe, do all those things. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, if you're watching it back, thank you. Tommy Edman, center field. That's just, they're saying we got to maximize this. Miguel Rojas in the lineup, I do like. EC, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Was this Mike who brought this up, talking about how they didn't get the Miguel Rojas thing? I'm looking for at-bat quality. And Miguel Rojas gives them that. Alex Call does not. He ain't it. He's not it. Kike Hernandez, we're going to keep in there, but I'm not willing to take out like Kike or, put Pajes back in for the sake of, however it works. Alex Call was cool against Christopher Sanchez, and that's all nice. And when he pimps a walk, I get jazzed about it, but I don't care if it's in a game they're down 5-1, stuff like that. But Alex Call, he's, can be cool at different times, but it's that, Miguel Rojas, we have seen bat to ball. I like his bat to ball. He's not going to do too much. Let's just say that. He could be slow. I couldn't care less. Alejandro Kirk's slow as hell. He slugs. He's one of the best catchers in the game. I don't care if he's slow. Don't care if he's slow. He can be slow, but if he hits a base hit to the outfield, he can walk to first. Cool. Miguel, never say that in any of my streams ever again. Where's Conforto? Never again. Yeah, I mean, look, guys, their backs up against the wall. Splitting hairs here on lineup stuff and all that. That's super besides the point, but that's why we're here. It's just they have to find a spark somewhere. Hell no, admin. Blake, this is Blake. The people yearn for Conforto. Nobody wants that bum. Get him out of here. That would be the most Make-A-Wish participation ring he'd ever get. Any player in the history of Major League Baseball. Get him out. But looking at individual stuff, we can break that all down. But as a collective, they're not doing anything. Probably not what you wanted to hear, guys. But I said that it is Blake. Everybody knows it's Blake. Nobody else. Jeff won't be on there. It's Blake for sure. Matt's busy. Just process of elimination. Easy. I don't need to out him. Just guys, where the Dodgers offense is at, they've got to show us something before we believe in them. There's no way that anybody could say today's the day. How many times have we hopped on here and said that this is the day that the offense could do it? I hopped on here against Trey Savage. I said they're going to make, cruise at bats. They're going to go, grind at bats out there. They're going to diagnose them and go from there. Game one, they had opportunities early and they just let him go. He got out of the game early. John Schneider made a good move to go to the pen there, won a ball game, shifted the entire thing. They didn't take advantage. Yamamoto carried in game two. They eventually cracked on Gausman there and tacked on 1-5-1. Game three, we know how that went, 18 inning. But it's just not enough. Game four was ridiculous. That was one of the most abysmal performances offensively in a World Series game I've seen. Max Muncy has been one that I've been severely let down by. Mookie Betts for sure. But, it's just that bat quality. The continuity that we've seen from them and the stuff that I think even the rest of the lineup's been accustomed to. You're out there able to go grind at bats, get runners on, take what you're given. They're not doing any of them. And it's just a complete 180. And it's not just being pessimistic. It's that you get used to these things, the pillars of an offense and how they game plan and how they approach it and how they implement it. The execution just isn't there. So that's where the lack of trust and belief that they'll, come alive today is just based on precedent, what they've done this postseason, this World Series, exactly that. They haven't, I don't think that the Blue Jays have said we've got to adjust accordingly. They do it, naturally, just, keeping the Dodgers offense or keep opposing offenses on their toes. But this is where I don't see them saying they've got us right where they want us. The Dodgers are going to have to hit their way out of this. So I'll never hop on here and say they got no chance, but I'm going to have to see them, like I said, three runs in the first 4 innings, and then we can talk. Mike says Scherzer and Gausman aren't aces anymore. Neither is Shane Bieber. They're all looking like them. They all have had opportunities for the Dodgers to get ahead early on in the game. Early runs change postseason baseball. Early scoring changes everything. It always does. Signs, yes, I did. Early runs changes everything. Anybody who tells you otherwise and watches through, you can't bank on always just cracking against the bullpen. Early runs changes how, starters are implemented, used, how they can attack, how they can approach opposing offenses. It all changes everything. How the Dodgers have performed offensively shows that either, first off, zero excuses. They'll tell you that right now. I'm not making excuses for them. One, the lack of game planning, possibly the lack of approach, hitting philosophy, allowing the Blue Jays pitchers to settle in and find themselves in a lot of gotta-be counts and gotta-be spots, and Dodgers just aren't executing, or they're just ran down. Pick your poison on them. None of them are good excuses, though. Cruise their way against, beat the hell out of the Reds. Defeat who everybody thought was the toughest challenge in the Phillies, even myself. But then you look ahead and you steamroll the Brewers, who didn't stand a chance. They gave themselves enough offense. And then now they're just like, what the hell are they doing? Trying to solve a Rubik's Cube with a blindfold on, handcuffed, behind their back. That's how they look. Pop-up city. So for me to believe, I'll need to see early scoring. 3 runs, first 4 innings. And then we can talk. And then Yamamoto can settle in. Got Gausman today. Hopefully they come to it. Let's see. Let me look at something real fast. You guys aren't used to me being overly optimistic either. So you shouldn't be surprised that I'm coming at it through this lens. I'm sure if I asked you, Dodgers Muse, what's up, man? Here we are once again, no doubt. I bet if I asked you confidence level, you probably know where I'm at. You'd know where I'm at, and I know where you're at. But Yamamoto today gives them a terrific chance to have another opportunity for him. I just I hate this. I'm big on pitching. I'll protect starters that work their asses off for all their, forever. The offense has to go do their job. You got to carry your weight. You can't keep asking them to be perfect. Unacceptable. Story of the year won't, if it's that the Dodgers starters collectively got right all at the same time and the offense just left their bat in the dugout. Luis says just schedule with therapists if the worst happens. I mean, the worst might have already happened. The worst is them losing, but we've seen the worst. Yesterday was, Game 4. Game 4 was one of the most. Game 5 was one of the most abysmal performances we've seen. That was bad. The game was over in the first 2 hitters. That was it. No chance there. That gave me weird. This series is giving me weird flashbacks to 2021 against the Braves. Very weird flashbacks there. Where it's but whatever. They could do whatever they want. And then can they do it when it's got to be? Yeah, Spock to Game 5's the worst, yeah. It's called reality. No doubt, Matty, man. No doubt. We'll have some long conversations about this. Oh, BC, I'm talking about how the Dodgers series against the Braves, where it was just the inevitable it felt there. That's all. I'm just talking about that. Talking about the feeling. I'm not talking about stats or anything like that. I'm not talking about offenses or anything, bro. That's not what I'm talking about. But yeah, Gausman today. If Gausman comes out, BC, I'm not talking about stats. Yeah. It's just feeling. It's just the feeling of it. where it's just like there's like a cloud over the team where they just got gut punched. And then the Rosario stuff, yeah. I miss scoring 4 runs a game. It'll be over with. It'd be over with. You're able to get 4 early. And this 3-man says, if there's a game 7, the Dodgers have the advantage based on experience. They are more battle-tested. They've been more battle-tested this entire postseason. They look, experienced teams don't afford opportunities, provide opportunities to other teams when it's just they're not there. And the Dodgers have opened opportunities for the Blue Jays. Dodgers aren't showing their experience. Nothing you're telling me about Dodgers experience has shown they are using that experience to their advantage. What about it? What about it? I'm telling you, they're lucky to have won 2 games. They're lucky this series is not over with. They are lucky this series is not over with. They're going to have to hit themselves out of this. Because the Blue Jays find a way to scratch and claw runs. And that Dodgers offense is not built for that right now. They've got to scratch and claw runs. Dodge Muse wants to know what's my confidence level for today. This is in Yamamoto strictly. An 8 in him. Offensively wise, I'm like a 4. Like a 4 offensively. That's it. Yamamoto is going to compete his ass off. It's because he's the ace. He's the guy. And what he did prior. That matters. But it's the offense that has everything to do with it. There's no conversation I'll be had. I'll say this. I was going to tweet this out, but I'll say this right here. There is no serious conversation I'll have that starts with, well, the pitchers didn't do enough. Nothing. None. No legitimate conversation should be that the pitchers didn't do enough. This is strictly on the offense and how abysmal they've been. And they'll agree with that. They'll agree with that. I'm still going to say until it's done that there's an opportunity there. And I've told you that, when it was tied up 2-2, I was saying that you wouldn't trade this spot with anything, even with a letdown game in game 4 again. You wouldn't trade the spot with any, with other teams, like teams who are not in it. You have an opportunity still to go win tonight, then force game 7, anything can happen. It can. So that's a way that they could do it. 1 game at a time and go from there. You get 3 innings. You get 3 innings out of me, 3-4 innings out of me, Dodgers offense. That's what you get. Because the Blue Jays will smell blood and they'll go get it. They'll go take it. They will do the little things to keep tacking on runs, the things that the Dodgers do not do. They have not done. He says, Scotty, remind us when our offense turned it on around in past playoffs from bust to boom. I mean, my memory stinks. So many of these postseasons all blend into one. Last year, they had far more slug, far more, ability for a big moment. They were not missing big pitches in the heart of the plate. Against the Padres, it felt like every other inning, it was like, all right, whose turn is it right now? Whose turn was it here? Teoscar, Mookie. It's a different offense, man. It's a different offense here. That having an inning like they had against the Yankees in the World Series clinching stuff, it's like it feels so far away from that type of offense, Feels super far away from that. The talent's there, the pulse is there and everything. They're just every different guy is in that, dog days of summer type slump, aside from Ohtani. So remind you of it. I mean, like I said, this year flew by. Back to back says, what about this year when they turn it around after the Baltimore series? Not the postseason. Not the postseason here. Dave punted game 4 and 5. He has no more punting left, and he didn't punt. Offense punted. Luis, what's up, man? George Springer's playing today? That official? Yeah, he wants to be on the field for a clincher if that's the case. Yeah, they defensively, they're not looking right, but having to move so much around like screams desperation. and they are in a desperate spot. Backs up against the wall. And I've said this on every other team. I'll keep you, reminded with this chat that I said it against the Brewers. I said it against the Phillies. Pressure makes diamonds to a lot of big league players and professional athletes. Let's see how they respond. And it's been about other teams when I would say it. Now it's about the Dodgers. Let's see how they respond. Can they have another comeback like that? It's not 3-1. It's 3-2. You've got 2 games. You win one, then tomorrow the Blue Jays, how do they feel? If the Dodgers come out today and they magically find offense, you put up 4. Yamamoto keeps them in a good spot. Roadmap to 27. Then we'll have a conversation about Game 7. And possibly I'll do a stream tomorrow to talk about that if we get there. Dodgers don't need me. Esteban says Dodgers need Scotty. They don't need me. They don't need me. I would have done a lot of moves people don't like. But we'll talk about that in the offseason. There has to be some offense. They got to help them out. Let's take questions. I got a little bit of time. But happy Halloween, guys. Hope you get to all enjoy this tonight. I'll keep it a buck. I'll be out trick-or-treating for a good bit. With the kiddo, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, we're not talking about anything past today. My expectation, if you just want a flat-out thing, I need to see 3 runs in a first 4. 3 runs in a first 4. Someone asked, why isn't Kim playing? Scott gives us an inning or 2. I couldn't give you a thing. Oh, Luis, why are you guys doing this? Are we more doom or gloom today? Or, where's the confidence level today from everybody? I know it's doom or gloom. It's hard when you're down 3-2. I'm not going to be sunshine and rainbows. That's not in me to just do that, sugarcoat everything. That's not wise. I'll tell you currently where they're at, and that's how I get my analysis and hop on here. So if you want to give me confidence level and stuff like that, please do. Yeah, go ahead and fire that up. People like it a 6. Sure, history man. They've been capable of shutting this series down. I said Dodgers in 5 just because I wanted to see it. I said, but Dodgers in 6 if I give the Blue Jays as much credit as I know they deserve. And I said that prior to the thing. Now they're in a shot where they can close the Dodgers out in 6. If the Dodgers offense gives them 10% more, this series is over with. That's why it's truly embarrassing. They don't have to do much. But they're just not doing, they're not doing shit early game. Shelly. She says, I'm embracing positivity. Go Dodgers. I know. Jose say you're kind of being a bummer. It's just how it goes, man. What do you want me to tell you? Win it for the Gipper. It's not how it works. Saying no-hitter at home doesn't change a no-hitter. Calling out what their performance has been is how things change and how things work. And that's being smart, being wise. There's a lot of other channels out there who are just going to tell you everything is fine. I'm manifesting a win too. Shelly, I'm sorry. If this is stressing you out, I appreciate you always being here. But if it should stress you out of just watching the game more than me telling you it's been bad. They can go out and win today because Yamamoto is one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball. Head and shoulders. He is insane. He's a stellar talent. So if there's anybody who can go out there and play stopper, it's him. And that's who I believe is the best person to be on the mound today. You have an easy roadmap to 27 outs if Yamamoto's on his stuff. If the stuff that we talked about at the top of the show, got a splitter working early, if he's able to dive deep into the bag there, if he's able to, run the cutter in, break a barrel, 4-seamer in or half, tie up Vlad, toss 96, 97 up and in, that's where he needs to lean. Okay, you can't leave stuff out. If you're going to put stuff out or half of the plate, you better be able to get it there and miss a barrel. So they will hunt and they will they will get mistakes. Just have to be able to weather that storm. So optimism-wise, if Shelly, people who are saying I'm a downer, I'm telling you that Yamamoto is the best person to have on the mound. You look across, it's the sticks, it's the bats that have to be able to pick them up. It's embarrassing that they haven't. He did it himself in that game too. should have been done earlier in the game. Gausman was leaving stuff in zone. He'll do it again. I don't think he'll change it up. Maybe he'll try to be a little bit more fine, around the strike zone there. But he will leave stuff. Big 2-pitch guy, so he's going to throw a ton of four-seamer there, tunnel it with the split. So you can win a day. You can win a day. Like, Gausman's a guy they can get to. They have in the past. Will Smith got a pump on him game 2, and they left him out there too long. But it's in a gotta-be game for the Blue Jays. So, again, I'll say those moments will come up. Now, the second time around against Gausman, don't expect Schneider to leave him out there if it's a similar scenario there. He'll want a different look. So, but absolutely, Dodgers can go win a game today. And then game 7, we hop on here. We just yap. I just sit and tell you like I couldn't care less what's going on. Anything can happen. Okay? That's how game 7s work. You could be, garbage all the way through offensively. You force a game 7, anything goes. Anything goes. So let's do this. Let me tell you that there's nobody better on the Dodgers starting staff to have out there tonight to play a stopper. Offense has to give them, I said, 3 in the first 4, and then we'll see you tomorrow. Then we can talk about this stuff. But if they don't get those things from the offense, we won't. All right, Matt, later, buddy. Sorry, man. I'm doing the best to read chat. It's all good. Everybody puts up with it. Raul, support Jan with better bats. Go Dodgers. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Dang, guys. Never knew somebody because I wasn't reading every single message in chat. They're out of here, but that's all good. All right. All caps question. Toss that up in here. Raul, but yeah, I'm with you, man. I want to win today. I don't like seeing my team lose. That's not how it goes. All right. Here we go. All right. Let me see. Thank you, Signs. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, he said, never seen a more active reader of chat. Yeah, thanks. I'm getting flamed out because of it. I read all chat. I miss a few while I'm going on a tangent. Come on. That's all good, though. Tier 1s are in here, and we're chilling. Miguel says, on a gut feeling, will Mookie have a Pookie bomb? I don't know. Yeah, I'm always on a tangent, Dodger Dad, for sure. When it's solo, you got to be. We're up here for 43 minutes straight. What else is it? Mookie on a Pookie bomb. Crazy line. Jedi, it's his baseball show, man. I don't talk food like that. It's a baseball show. That's my thing. It's a baseball show. Mike, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Always being real. Tim says, Joe just woke up after that crazy 18-inning game. What time does game 3 start? Don't forget to fall back tomorrow night after the Dodgers win. Yeah. Look, I just said they could win today. They could win today. Can't happen. I like this here. Maybe the day off and your ace on the mound and Dave Roberts trying to race Ha-Seong Kim around the bases and face planting and giving everybody a laugh is the breather they need. Because they need something. It sure isn't any more hitters meetings, none of that stuff. Just go out there and execute to what they know how. Do stuff early in the game. Can't wait till later. Could be exactly what they need. Raul, would you use Snell out of the pen considering his past performance? I would do it in 7. Not today, though. Do it in game 7. He needs one more day. That's how it would be. All right. A couple more questions. I'll let you guys get out here. Enjoy your Halloween for a little bit. I know you're going to tense up. BC, again, thank you for that support, man. I appreciate it. You're a dog. Yeah, he said it'd be easier to score runs without an automatic out in between the best hitters. Damn, it sucks. It sucks because Mookie Betts in that second slot where they're going to pitch around Ohtani, make him pay was hopefully the biggest thing. And he had so many of those moments. It was like, okay, he's going to get one. The law of averages, something's got to give. He's been good in those slots. It just snowballed effect. Just snowball effect here. Carla says, do you like the 3 games in a row schedule? I do. I really do. I like the fact that you have to kind of game plan it. It stresses your lineup to the point where if you've got starting pitching and you're able to keep them in, that type of schedule benefited the Dodgers greatly, but you have to execute. So yeah, it pushes the limits of your entire roster, and that's where it's at. So I like that a lot. Yeah, I like that a lot. It allows you to have to set your team up going into it and execute. And if a team, gets blasted in game 3, there's the residual. Game 3 was a slot where the Dodgers exerted a ton of pitching as well. So did the Blue Jays. Blue Jays came out in game 4 and they hit, and they stole one right back. And then the fatigue is still there. That's where it's at. Dodger Stat says Jays are younger, Dodgers are older. Correct. They're also in a fat slump. Come out and win today, though. And then we'll bring the haters. We'll bring the haters back. Back to back says, out of all the slumping hitters, who would you choose to break out tonight? Who do I think, or who do I want? It's a totally different thing. Totally different thing. Because if you're saying the ones that I want, it's going to be, Mookie Betts, because he's going to be in a hitter, like a big spot, cleanup spot there. He's going to have guys on base, hopefully, to do damage. Mookie Betts. But the swing I saw yesterday in practice, him popping up, hands just way too active. Hands are way too active for what he's doing. They're dropping below, like their belly button line, and then he's just, straight under it. Posture's way up. So it's like when hands are dropping down and your back's stiffening up, you're just trajectory of that. You're just popping up. That's bad. That's not good. His body's not built for that right now. It's not built for it. They should have won this series if they're playing 10% better. He said he was doing a drill. That's fine. I'm cool. I get it. If that's the case, if he was doing a drill, then that's okay. I'm just telling you with where he's at. You look at his pull side data. You look at you look at what he's doing right now. His launch angle stuff, he's all out of whack. That's not a practice swing. That's making me think this way. Mike Petriello, direct you right to it. He has a great data on Mookie Betts and what he's done. It's only been 3 hitters in Major League Baseball that have had that type of swing this year. And they're all big boomer bust guys. All big, high slug, high strikeout. And that's not Mookie Betts and who he is right now. He'll even tell you that. So I'm not just basing that off a practice swing. I love Mookie Betts. He's just caught in between of competitive nature of the postseason where slug is king and mechanically where he's at. That's it. And where he is with his body. Rich says this. I've been a Dodger fan since 1974. Yeah, brother. He says, no matter the outcome this weekend, I'll be grinding at work, living a productive life until spring training arrives. Dodger baseball is my escape. I hear you, buddy. It's the escape for a lot of people. It's the escape for a lot of people. And I don't lose sight of that. That's why I said on here, if chat's active, people are active, we'll stay on here as long as we want, as long as we can. Till admin, a.k.a. Blake, he'll have to cancel my stream, get me out of here. Win today, let's talk tomorrow. Win today, let's talk tomorrow. Enough said. Only so many times you can say the offense is, performing way under where they should be. All right? Nobody better to have on the mound than Yamamoto today. Beast stopper, game 7, anything goes. Game 7, anything goes. That's how it goes. Signs, yeah. Everybody knows who it is. But we'll be there when the lineup comes out. But as far as that, against Kevin Gausman, he's going to provide stuff in the heart of the strike zone. Ton of split, ton of stuff darting away from lefties there. But he will command fastball. He will go fastball heavy. That's just how he lives. He's basically a straight 2-pitch guy. Last outing, he went 60% heater, if you can believe that. 60% four-seam fastball, 35% split. It's a 2-pitch with just 4 sliders, excuse me. So if they can go out there and dissect that, but when he was out there, Gausman had his fastball split tunneled beautifully. But the Dodgers just were not hitting the mistakes in the zone. Virtual says this: I just give respect to teams, just my MO. If you're winning and outplaying us, I'm not relentlessly act like you're garbage. Yeah, no doubt, man. Prior to the series, that was a huge thing. Overlooking. It was a humongous thing. I still said Dodgers would win, but I gave immense credit to where the Blue Jays were at. Because it was like the shtick with the Mariners was that, oh, you don't want to face their pitching. You don't want to face their pitching. And then the Blue Jays just beat the hell out of them offensively. Cool, but win today, worry about tomorrow. Worry about tomorrow. Realistic view, like I said, I still need to see 3 in the first 4. I needed that. Yeah, I needed that in Game 5. Didn't get it. I need 3 in the first 4. Happy Halloween. See how things can go. Barring any last-minute stuff here, that'll do it for us today. And we'll touch base later on. Hopefully this isn't the last postseason unplugged that we've got going on here. All right. If they win today, I'll talk to the suits, see if we can make something happen for tomorrow. And then we'll go from there, okay? But as far as that, everybody, nobody better to have on the mound for the Dodgers today than Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Dodger Dad wants to know, what am I looking for in the first inning? I'm looking for hopefully a 1-2-3 from Yamamoto. If he puts somebody on, if there's excuse me base hit, because that's what happens a lot, then that's, work around that. Get to the bottom half, or get to the next inning. As far as offensively, I need Ohtani to set the tone. I need him to set the tone. If they're going to pitch you away, take some stuff away. I would like them to at least make him work. It's innings 2 and 3 where that stuff, that middle to bottom half, and then it turns over again, is where I think the runs can come. First inning's tough to diagnose. A guy who has an incredible split, but this is nothing that they haven't seen before. So first inning, go out there, diagnose. If they want to do damage and it happens, go ahead. But it's innings 2 and 3 where the lineup turns over is where I need to see the damage happen. And then I need 3 in the first 4. And then I'll talk. And then I'll say they're doing their job. They're doing their job. It's tough to score in the postseason. Blue Jays are making it look easy off this team because they're having to be perfect. So go ahead and do that. Dodger Dad, look out for those things. That's what I'll be looking out for. Everybody, Mike, good to see you. Miguel, good to see you. Everybody, BC, Laura, Shelly, everybody. Please enjoy the rest of your Friday. We will touch base later on there. Look out for my keys to the game, but I will talk to the suits. Go win today. We'll see you tomorrow. But as always, thank you for tuning in to DodgerHeads Unplugged. My name is Scott Geirman. Everybody supporting Dodger Blue on this postseason run, continue to do so. We'll have incredible content coming through the offseason here. But that's not for the conversation of today. Tonight, we're looking at Game 6 and then Game 7 possible. We'll talk then. Enjoy the rest of your day until I can't say it anymore. Go Dodgers.